So much. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are gathered on the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the traditional territory of the Huron-Wendat and the Haudenosaunee. Today, we reaffirm our commitment to meaningful reconciliation and respectful partnership with Indigenous peoples. Distinguished veterans, cadets, and friends, Your Worship, members of Provincial Parliament, councillors, Regional Chair. In the early morning of June 6, 1944, 14,000 Canadians stormed Juno Beach as part of the largest combined military operation in history. They were joined by British and American allies in a remarkable effort to secure a foothold on the shores of France. Today, we gather to remember those who fought and gave their lives on D-Day. These soldiers hailed from coast to coast to coast: Oakville and Okotoks, Golden and Gander, Whitehorse and Winnipeg. Some were just teenagers. The values our soldiers fought so hard to defend all those years ago, freedom, democracy, human rights, are values that we must still defend today in support of the international rules-based order. And just as then, Canadians will never waver in our commitment to these values, fundamental values that our soldiers and the Allied forces fought so hard to defend, and values now that we see under attack all over the world. Few of us can understand what it must have felt like to approach the stormy shores of Juno Beach in the midst of a brutal war. Few of us can understand what must have been running through the minds of these young Canadians, their whole lives ahead of them, but far from guaranteed. All of us have a duty to keep their stories and legacy alive and remember the terrible cost of war, including in today's times. As Minister of National Defence, that is a responsibility that I think about each and every day as I execute my duties. And that is why I am so honored to be here with you today. And it is why I call on all Canadians to remember the service of our veterans, not just on days like this, but every single day. Because the way of life that we hold dear simply would not be possible without their immeasurable sacrifice on the beach in France 78 years ago and in places all over the world, lest we forget.